It seems like every year around springtime, Luka's family of sons increases in number. Because when it comes to Luka, they just never learn, huh?
Dread it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here. Or should I say, I am.
Why does this seem to be the conclusion in nearly every playoff series that Luka has laced them up for in recent history? In a league where the next face of the NBA is an open debate, and when one of the leading candidates for that role is someone who's drawn comparisons to Michael Jordan, Luka simply looks down at his Jordan signature sneakers, then looks back up at him and smiles, because he knows he's got him right where he wants him. But how long can Luka keep this up? Or is this just who he is to the core? A ruthless competitor who absolutely thrives on the big stage and in the most crucial moments. Someone who's never in a rush but always on time. Someone who appears to be in complete control on the court with his game, well, except when it comes to the refs. But you know what I'm saying. Does Luka actually make the entire Clippers roster, SGA and Ant-Man, his sons on the court, like this comment says? Or is that an overreaction to one series win against each of these teams and guys? Well, after watching this video, you be the judge of if the statement, when you're Luka's sons, should apply to the players mentioned in this video or not. Alright, let's pause for a quick shout out to Rakuten, who is not sponsoring this video by the way. They're just the #1 option for cashback with online shopping. I use Rakuten whether it's through the website or the app every time I shop online, and I have a link in the description down below. Now, I'm completely transparent. This is an affiliate link. I will get credit if you go to this link, but most importantly, you will get credit because when you spend $30, you'll get $30 back, and whatever store that you're shopping at, depending on the cash back that they're giving right now, you'll get that percentage back as well. It's legit. I've used this for years. Think about it like this. Support my channel through the link by buying whatever you want online. That's a pretty good deal, right? Let's get back to the video. One thing about Luka that's true for sure is that he is, in fact, a father. Luka welcomed his baby girl into his family in December 2023. But the title of father was bestowed upon Doncic over a year and a half before he actually became a dad in real life. When Luka sunned Devin Booker and the top-seeded Suns in 7 games in the 2022 Western Conference semifinals, Book became the first NBA player to be given the title of Luka's son. This matchup has been filled with competitive smoke, and for all the details on that, I'll leave a link on the screen in the description for you to check it out. But one of my questions for today is this. How has Luka continued to reach deep into his bag to become Daddy Doncic nearly every playoff series since the 2022 West semis? Well, heading into the 2024 postseason, the consensus was that Luka owned the Clippers, but this statement was made strictly from a statistical point of view. Because while Doncic had averaged 33.5 points, 9.5 assists, and 8.8 rebounds in 13 playoff games against LA, he had no series wins to show for it. With help from Kyrie and company, the opening round of the 2024 NBA playoffs was Luka's best shot to reverse this career trend and make it past the first round against the Clippers. Pause for a second. Have you ever seen a team prepare for their opponent by wearing that same opponent's jerseys in practice? I mean, hey, maybe I'm out of the loop here, and it happens more often than I realize, but regardless, that's what the Clippers did to prepare for the Mavs, and boy did this ignite the comment section. The Clippers' father. I mean, before even winning a series against this team, people were giving Luka that title. Man, they fear him this much? No one on that team gets to wear the Luka jersey, right? Like, who wore it? Harden? I mean, prime Harden and Luka, they've drawn comparisons, but the current version of Harden, respectfully, he couldn't pull that off. And my personal favorite, they treating Luka like he the boogeyman. LOL. Okay, so you see people that even if the Clippers didn't admit it, the public perception was that Luka already owned this team and all of LA's players knew it to some extent. But you still got to roll the balls out there and play. After getting blown out in Game 1, Dallas looked to respond to avoid going down 0-2. And while we all know what Luka is capable of on the offensive end, one of the knocks against him so far throughout his career has been defensively. But not on this night.
You take a lot of criticism for your defense. Tonight, it seemed like you were more engaged than ever. What was the mentality and the approach?
Yeah, I mean, it's playoffs. It's different. They're trying to double with me, and I said no double. I take pride, in my defense too. They're always going to say that, the haters. But it's fine, man. I'm out here enjoying playing basketball. That's fun, man. That's what I do. That's what I want to do my whole life, so I just enjoy doing that.
Not only did Luka hold his matchup to 2 of 17 shooting as the primary defender, the Clips were also 0 of 11 from the floor when he was contesting a shot. Plus, you know that with an opportunity to deliver one of his signature playoff daggers in crunch time, Doncic would inflict pain once again with someone who knows a thing or two about that pain in attendance to watch.
Doncic, 5 to shoot. Against Harden. Doncic lines it up. It goes! He is that guy! 90-81. The Mavericks have their largest lead with 1:26 to go in LA.
Pause right there. Switch up the angle real quick. Do you see it? Go ahead and zoom in. Yup. That's the look of a man who's had first-hand experience in feeling the burn before. And if this was a sign of things to come for the Clippers, they were in for some more pain. But if we fast forward to Game 5, something was off in this series for Luka. Sure, he was still putting up numbers. I mean, the man had 22, 10, and 9 in a Game 3 win and 29, 10, and 10 in a Game 4 comeback effort that fell short, but his field goal percentage was considerably down in the series. At this point, he hadn't shot over 42.3% in a game. Overall, he just looked off physically. News surfaced that he'd been dealing with a sprained knee and a head cold that brought congestion with it, so much so that he said if Game 5 was a regular season game, he likely would not play. Cue the flashbacks to Dirk's sick game with 102-degree fever in Game 4 of the 2011 Finals. That's what Mavs fans were hoping for here. LA looked to add insult to injury quite literally, because on top of the ailments that Luka was dealing with heading into Game 5, Mavs players had to see this.
You were driving in when you were coming in downtown to our studio. Did you happen to see right across the street from Crypto.com Arena? There's an enormous billboard, Tim, that is up there now that says Dallas to Cancun. So when players come in today, when they're heading into Crypto.com Arena for this game, this is what they're going to be greeted with.
I think you know what was about to happen next.
35, Doncic. Let's go over to Allie LaForce.
Luka, are you really sick with a sprained knee? I don't believe you.
I am.
You delivered the largest playoff loss in Clippers history. I mean, this was such a dominant win. What changed when it came to the third quarter? Because you didn't look back after that.
Yeah, I mean, and the players doesn't matter if you win by 1 or you win by 50, but it's still a good win. But job is not done. We got one more. We need to win one more.
Let's throw that billboard back up there. All right, okay, let's cross that out and make the change there. That's more like it. As you know, the Mavs won this series in 6 games, and while Luka did drop 28 points, 13 assists, and 7 rebounds in the closeout game, I ain't gonna act like it wasn't Kyrie who took center stage with 30 points and put this move on PJ Tucker.
Kyrie, he's got Tucker in a blender! Yeah, baby! A foul is called too! A signature moment! Look at that bomb scene. Kai hits the bullseye!
So Luka had officially done it, vanquishing the Clippers from the playoffs for the first time in his career and delivering a Booker-esque moment, this time with Harden in the process. But wait, this is how you know how high expectations are for Luka. Is he smiling because of his 40% from the field and 24% from 3 in the series, getting carried by Kyrie? I'm sorry, but since when did 29.8 points, 9.5 assists, and 8.8 rebounds per game, literally a team high in every single one of those categories, become getting carried? Sure, Doncic did shoot 40.5% from the field and 24% from 3 in this series, and while we do unfairly expect stars to be superhuman, he was playing sick and with a sprained knee for a majority of the series. And in the next series, the task at hand in Luka's health would prove to be significantly more challenging. So how would Luka respond? Well, if he was in your position, first I'd think he would like this video, probably subscribe, he might even leave a comment to let me know that he wants to see more content like this, because if I'm posting more about the Mavs, they likely are winning. So if you enjoy this content, be vocal like Luka when he talks to the refs and let me know about it. Game 1 of the West Semis wasn't great for Luka. This fan didn't give him the ball after it went out of bounds. Remember that for later. Doncic posted just 19 points to snap a 24 consecutive playoff game streak with at least 20 points. SGA was giving him and the Mavs the business in this one as OKC rolled. Could it get any worse? Well, yes and no. For Luka's health, yeah. I mean, the man was already banged up, and not even a minute into Game 2, he would go face first, quite literally, into the floor after getting bumped by Lou Dort. Then early in the fourth quarter, Cason Wallace collided with Luka's leg, which would cause Doncic to hobble up the court. But speed this up to the very next possession, and well, I'll just let the broadcasters say what we were all thinking.
We'll see right now how hurt he is. You can see he's moving okay.
22 points for Doncic, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Here's Doncic for 3. I guess the ankle's okay. Drills the 3.
But these freak injuries weren't even the craziest things that happened to Luka in this game. OKC had a chant directed at Luka throughout this one.
Gafford rolling, Luka keeps. Doncic spin, fade away, it's gone!
There, that's just a great move. See, once he gets down in there, he loves it.
And that wasn't all, because later in the fourth quarter, this happened, and Kyrie got in on it as well.
Meanwhile, Luka Doncic having a conversation with Kyler Murray, and James Conner didn't like what was said to him.
Irving has a conversation with this guy that's been heckling him. He said, relax, relax.
He's still going there.
Yeah. All the way down the floor. You're right. He's still talking to the guy back here at the other foul line.
Free throws coming for Irving, who's still jawing with a couple of fans in the front row here in OKC.
Okay, let me tell you something about these OKC fans. They hadn't been to the playoffs in a while. I don't know if they watched what Luka did to Booker in the 2022 West semis. Again, it wasn't that long ago. Maybe I should give them a pass, but hopefully, they learned their lesson after this game.
12 seconds later.
Alice is challenging the ruling of a defensive foul on the play.
Luka, this Oklahoma City fan base has taken a little bit of a liking to you, so to speak. As a competitor, do you thrive on just being able to silence the crowd the way you did in the game that you had?
I love it. And when they chant Luka sucks, it gets me going. It's even better.
With the series tied 2-2, the chants continued in OKC, but Luka was unfazed. 31 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds, and 1 huge block on the guy who finished ahead of him in MVP voting and would let him know about it.
Break opportunity. SGA blocked by Doncic. Big time rejection.
Luka sliding his feet, anticipates.
Plus, the interaction with the OKC fan from Game 1 that I said to remember for later, well, Luka got to see him again. And the fan himself commented, "If I told y'all what he said, y'all wouldn't believe it." Luka bending and smiling is like the Kobe jersey bite. Yeah, pretty much his iteration of it. And once Luka does that bending smile pose, y'all know the other team is cooked. Rumor has it that there is a quota of at least one bending, smiling pose from Luka in every series that Dallas wins. Which after Dallas dispatched of OKC in 6 games, that brings us to this moment between Anthony Edwards and Luka Doncic in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals.
At the end of the game, what were you saying to Anthony Edwards?
I can't say.
It's not TV appropriate.
It's this shot that's going to be remembered as the most iconic in this series. Some are saying that Ant-Man went from MJ's son to Luka's son in 5 games. Boy, this world is cruel, cold, and will switch up on you quick, won't it? Personally, I've seen too much improvement and overall good from a 22-year-old Anthony Edwards to call him Luka's son. But I will acknowledge that over the course of these 5 games, he did at times look like the newest addition to the family just because of the absolute lesson that Luka was giving them boys. Game 2 with a chance to steal both games on the road and go up 2-0 in the series, the Wolves for some reason switch Gobert onto Luka up top, and look at Jaden McDaniels' face. He knew what was about to happen, and apparently so did Jamal Crawford.
What happens here, Crusher-Damas?
It's going to be in Luka's hands. He's going to shoot a step back 3. I think he makes it. He's going to hop on one leg after he does it. Oh. What did I tell you?
Oh my God!
I'm out of here. I love y'all. I appreciate everything.
None.
It's documented.
Dog, that's crazy.
I even told you how he was going to hop on the leg.
I mean, if it wasn't for Luka's signature smile pose, I guess I can start calling it that at this point, over Ant Edwards at the end of Game 3, this would have been the moment of the series. And crazy enough, Luka's final performance in the series makes the case for his best as well. Every reason why Luka torched Minnesota in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Coming off his worst game of the series in Game 4 in part due to a defensive adjustment of Anthony Edwards guarding Luka, Wolves coach Chris Finch said this prior to Game 5.
Yeah, he does a better job of getting through all those illegal screens except for Luka.
All right then, Luka comes out and drops 20 points in just over 9 minutes into the game while jabbing with the fan who is waving a handkerchief at him in reference to him crying for fouls.
And look, he's having words with Snoop. Now, Snoop appreciates with a nice message to Snoop Dogg, saying, I'm glad you're here and you paid for those seats.
They just never learn with Luka, huh? Luka outplayed Ant, averaging 34.2 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 8.2 assists in 5 games against Minnesota, while Edwards posted 24.6 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 7.8 assists per game. But the two showed respect even after the Wolves were clearly outmatched. And according to the comments, these two share a common bond. They share a partnership and ownership of the Suns. It's all good between them. Booker's two fathers sharing a wholesome moment. Dang, man. Book stays catching strays. Even when this guy's probably thousands of miles away, out in the desert with his dog or something. I mean, he ain't asking for this. Luka faced all the smoke on his path to the 2024 finals. Came out the fire, not even smelling like it. He was the best player in every series he played in. The only player who averaged more points per game in a series was SGA with 32.2 per contest compared to Doncic's 24.7. Luka still averaged more assists and rebounds per game in the semifinal matchup against him though. But you tell me, does Luka actually make the entire Clippers roster, SGA and Ant-Man, his sons on the court, like this comment says, or is that an overreaction to one series win against each of these teams and guys? Sound off in the comments with your take, and I'll be reading and replying to y'all's responses. And I'll be back with another episode of Topic Deck coming soon. As always, stay solid, people.